All right, Shalom, Israel, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach Malak Yahushai. That is to say, Yahweh, being named the Heavenly Father, who the world will call God, and Yahushai, being named His only begotten Son, who the world arrogantly calls Jesus Christ. This is Brother Kasadia from WFI Jersey, Philly, and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. In a few days, about to enjoy the Passover, right? And call of remembrance of the Passover, we know that Yahushai gave His life so that we can now be able to be redeemed through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and ransomed from death, to continue on in His truth, right? To inherit everlasting life, to be co-heirs with Yahushai in the kingdom, Most High willing, right? To be a part of the vineyard, to continue to be planted by the trees and be righteous, and continue to allow the wisdom and understanding to flow with us, right? To inherit everlasting life. And all that is possible through Yahushua dying and redeeming us and allowing us to overcome death when He gets the victory, right? So we're going to kick it off with 1 Corinthians, where we understand the importance of Yahushua's death was that Israel can now be able to pass from death into life. You understand? To allow us to have remission of sins, be forgiven from all our iniquities, right? Because truth be told, anytime you commit sin, you're worthy of death. Right? Sin, literally the wages of sin is death. That's Romans chapter 6, verse 23. Right? So Yahushua dying for the nation of Israel to allow us to have a remission of sins and forgiveness in the holy grace that's bestowed upon us. It now allows us to transition from the afterlife, or to the afterlife, so to speak. And it's 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Right? 1 Corinthians 15, and I'll start at verse 23. It says, but every man in his own order, Hamashiach the first fruits. Afterward, they that are Hamashiachs at His coming. Then cometh the end, right? So in the end, right, which you're going to see very shortly, then cometh the end, when He shall have delivered up the kingdom to Yahweh, even the Father, when He shall have put down all rule and all authority and power, for He must reign, right? Yahushua is reigning, right? He's going to reign on this earth. For He must reign till He had put all enemies under the feet. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. So Yahushua has to destroy death, right? Yahushua has conquered His flesh. He showed us how to conquer this flesh. And we're conquering His flesh right now. We fasting out these demons. We throwing up prayers. We may be tired, may damn having to travel damn hours away. But guess what? We're doing it all in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yoshai, right? Continuing on. It says, for He must rank, like in verse 26, the last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. Reading on. For he had put all things under His feet. But when He said all things are put under Him, it is manifest that He is accepted, which did put all things under Him. Right? So what you're saying is, once the Lord Yahushua overcomes death, which is that final enemy, then He's going to be also in subjection to Yahweh, right? The Most High God. Verse 28. And when all things shall be subdued unto Him, then shall the Son also Himself be subject unto Him that put all things under Him, that Yahweh may be all in all. So Yahushua had to be the one to overcome this flesh, overcome this death, and give Israel remission of sins, right? Let's go to the book of Hosea, right? Because like I mentioned, this is a ransom, right? The Lord had paid a ransom with His own life so that we now can have life. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 13, and I'll start at verse 14. Hosea 13 and 14, I will ransom them from the power of the grave, right? Because the grave has power over us. The so-called black and Hispanic man, and we know death like the damn back of our hand, man. I believe another rapper just got shot down yesterday. BTB Savage, or whatever his name was. I don't know about him. I don't listen to that type of rap. But nevertheless, I just heard he got shot down. And it wasn't just him. You know, you have all these other rappers that's getting shot down. 2023, 2022, so on and so forth. Every single time in these hoods, you got these mothers out there on TV with a RIP hoodie or T-shirt that was printed out, damn crying and weeping before the damn teleprompter, right? We have all these people that's doing these protests. This continue to happen. Jake is going to continue to die in this earth until they come back to Yahweh Shem Yoshai. That's the only way we can make it and be redeemed. That's the only way we can escape this world to come, or this world and destruction that's going to come on this earth, is to come back to your Heavenly Father. Right? Let's read this again. Hosea 13 and 14. It says, I will ransom them from the power of the grave. I will redeem them from death. Right? So how is the Lord going to redeem us from death? Right? He already has done so. He redeemed us by dying himself. Yahweh Shai had to die so that Israel now can have life. So that now when you believe in Yahweh Shai, you too have life. You too have access to the immortality that was established before the foundation of the world. And we'll get that precept. Continuing on. It says, O death, I will be thy plagues. O grave, I will be thy destruction. Repentance shall be hid from mine eyes. Right? So the Lord is going to what? Overcome death. Right? And death is no longer going to get the victory over us. The Lord said death will be swallowed up in victory. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, right? Chapter 25 and verse 8. And it's not nothing that anyone can do about that. None of these principalities, none of these demons that's on the left-hand side, not anything that Hashatan can do about it, because the Lord already established certain men to receive everlasting life. It's written. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28. It's like 25 and verse 8. It says, he will swallow up death in victory, and Yahweh will wipe away tears from off all faces. And the rebuke of his people shall he take away from off the earth, for Yahweh has spoken it. Right, so the Lord said what? A death is swallowed up, or wiped away. It's like it. He swallowed up death in victory. And then he wiped away all the tears from the eyes. Meaning what? We're no longer going to have that pain anymore. Death being swallowed up, we're not going to have to worry about damn sin, man. And plagues and destruction of the mind that's causing us to go off in error. The reason why we go off is because that grain of evil seed has been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and then was sprouting up even to this time. And that all man that was born on this earth, they all had to struggle with the same condition of the battle, pursuing the 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 57. Sirach chapter 40, verse 1. The book of 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 30. This is what we got to deal with. Because of what? Through transgression of man. But now the Lord is bringing back man on the earth to live and be established after his order and continue on to Most High willing get this kingdom. Right? So Lord willing, we are part of that. Most High willing, we're a part of that. Myself and as well as everyone that's watching this, everyone that's out there doing the work, everyone that's believing, being sincere on the 12, it's like from all 12 tribes of Israel that's scattered in the 4 corners of the earth. Right? That's reading, fasting, studying, praying, staying in the spirit. You understand? Having a sincere heart, having clean hands and a clean heart in these last days. Have your mind and your conscience seared to Yahweh Shem Shai. You understand? Lord willing, you're a partaker of that. Right? Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Right? Because again, like I mentioned, this was established from the beginning of the world to be immortal. That's why you see a lot of these TV shows. That's what they want to get down with. Right? Even these wizards and warlocks on the left-hand side, they want to find different elixirs and things of that nature and come up with different, again, potions and whatever the case may be, so they can be able to be living forever. So they can rule on this earth forever. But they're not going to rule on this earth forever. Right? Only the men of Yahweh Shem Shai will rule on this earth forever. And that's written and that's established. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. Shalakia. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. And I'm going to start at verse. I'll get right to it. Verse 23. It says, for Yahweh created man to be immortal. Right? The Most High had created man in this earth to be immortal. Not to live with these damn plagues of the flesh. Not to have your mind damn bug you out. This brothers damn turn into different doctrines in these last days. Brothers begin seduced. Then falling out left and right, leaving from congregations, having this pride spirit on them. It's all manner of evil in these last days. But guess what? The Lord said from the beginning of the earth, man was originally created to be immortal. And now was the time where man is going to access the immortality. For those martyrs who die in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai, they're automatically going to be redeemed from death. If you have ears to hear, they're going to be immortal. They're going to be set up to live from everlasting to everlasting. Let's continue on. It says, for Yahweh created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. Right. So if you want to get down with Satan, then look, you're going to be destroyed. Wasn't not written that the Lord had gave Cain ability? Let's go to it. Let's not talk about it. But let's go to it. The Lord told Cain, if you do good, right, shall you not be accepted? This is the book of Genesis, chapter 4, and I'm going to go to verse 5. I'll go to verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And Yahweh said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? Right, so the Lord came unto Cain and said, look, what's going on? What's the matter? Verse 7, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? Right, if you kept the commandments, if you believed in Yahweh Shem Yahshai, if you did everything that was ordained and established, shall you not be accepted? Is the Lord going to just forget about you? He's going to cast you behind? Right, it says in Sirach chapter 2, verse 10, has anyone ever trusted in the Most High and was confounded? If you trust in the Most High, he's not going to leave you astray. But guess what? Cain, he didn't want to trust in the Most High. So let's read on. It says, and if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. So if you do well, then guess what? You'll be accepted. What's that acceptation? To be adopted as one of the sons of God, to live forever, to access immortality. But what? If thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Meaning what? You're going to die. He gave us life and death, two choices. That's Deuteronomy 11:26. It's two choices laid before us. Either we're going to serve the Most High and live forever, or you're going to serve Satan and then die and be destroyed and then be corrupted in this world and not make it into immortality. To just stay as a mortal being, to let all flesh just rule over you. That's going to be your desire, the Lord said. But guess what? Let's see what Cain chose. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. So he made his choice. And now it's time for you to make your choice. This is the book of St. John, chapter 3, right? St. John, chapter 3, and I'm going to go to verse 35. It says, the Father loved the Son and had given all things into his hand. And when all things given to the Lord's hand, he now has power over death. So the only way for you to be redeemed and to get the victory over death is to what? Be a partaker of this knowledge and wisdom of Yahweh in the name of his son, Yahushai. If you're not following the Lord, then you're not going to overcome death. You're going to be destroyed. Those missiles, and they got your name on it. Those damn thermonuclear missiles that's sent and appointed for your destruction, it is going to happen unless you turn back and repent, unless you stay 10 toes down with the Lord, unless you continue to do what you got to do to cast out this leaven, even after Passover season, even after Feast of Unleavened Bread, in the months following, in the days to come, in the weeks to come. If we're here, even in the years to come, you got to turn back now and continue to stay 10 toes down with the Lord. And when you feel like you're drifting off and you're going astray, and you want to call upon Yahweh Shem Yahshai, and you want to get back on that righteous path before it's too late. And it's the book of John, chapter 3 and verse 36. It says, he that believeth on the Son had everlasting life. And he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of Yahweh abideth for him. Right, to be destroyed, to be burned up, to damn like ravenous beasts rip and maul at your skin and pull apart your body and your limbs and your damn flesh, man. And for your eyes to be consumed in the holes, like it says in the book of Zechariah. You don't want none of those things. They say in the world, you don't really want these problems. And the Lord, he's not a man to play around with, right? He's known as the king of terrors, the God of terrors. So at the end of the day, it's either you get back right with the Lord or you're going to feel that wrath to come. Now, again, like we mentioned, the Lord has set this thing up for you to live forever. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 118 and verse 17. All right. Psalm 118 and verse 17. It says what? I started at 16. The right hand of Yahweh is exalted. The right hand of Yahweh doeth violently. Right. The Lord does what he wants to do. on the right-hand side, and you'll be exalted. The Lord will exalt you as one of his sons of God. Not to be exalted over him. That would never happen. But you'll be exalted in the earth to be a ruler, a governor, a prince, a king, a man over 100 cities, a man over 10 cities, a man over 1,000 cities. They have your own sheep, your own cattle, so on and so forth. You have your own slaves. All those things will be established in righteousness. You'll never have to struggle, worry about pain, worry about death, worry about sin, worry about iniquity, worry about damn malignity ever in your members ever again, nor for your children, nor for their children, nor for the generations to come. But guess what? That's only if you stay 10 toes down with the Lord. Verse 17, it says what? I shall not die, but live and declare the works of Yahweh. So you're not living forever to do your own thing. You're living to declare the works of Yahweh Shem Shai. So if you're not already doing so, then you're not living. Lord willing, that was plain. If you're not declaring the works of the Most High, if you're not following what the Lord has ordained in the earth for man to keep his holy commandments and to repent and believe and keep this faith and endure to the end, then you don't have life. You won't be a part of that life. Now, if you turn away, if the Most High put a spirit on you, you turn away, then you're going to be destroyed. But again, if you stay with the Lord, then you'll live forever. Right? Let's go to the book of Habakkuk. Right? Because that was, again, like I mentioned, this is established. We're reading accounts in not just the New Testament, right? This is in the Apocrypha, right? This is in the Old Testament. And this is written from the beginning. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1 and verse 12. It says, art thou not from everlasting, O Yahweh my God, mine Holy One? We shall not die, O Yahweh. Thou hast ordained them for judgment. So the Lord said what? Hey, the elect, they're not going to die. They're elected from the foundation of the earth to receive everlasting life. But the Lord had appointed iniquity and death and destruction to all those who hate the Most High. If you don't keep the commandments of the Lord, which is to love the Lord, then you hate the Lord. It's only love and hate. That's what it boils down to. If you love the Most High, then you're going to keep the commandments of the Most High. If you don't keep the commandments of the Most High and you want to do your own thing, then you hate the Most High. And guess what? You're going to meet your maker. Let's go to Isaiah real quick. It's Isaiah chapter 17 and verse 7. At that day shall a man look to his maker, and his eyes shall have respect to the Holy One of Israel. Right, so in that day, you're going to meet your maker, man. And Lord willing, you was doing what you're supposed to do. I don't want to be in those shoes of any man or any woman if they weren't keeping the commandments of the Most High and they was doing their own thing and they cast the Lord behind their back. And what do you think is going to happen in that day? Think you're going to receive life? No, you're going to be met with the same account that the Lord had given Cain. If you do well, it's like, if you do well, you'll be accepted. But if not, then sin life at the door, and unto thee is going to be his desire. I mean, what is going to roll over you, and ultimately you're going to be destroyed. Let's go to the book of, I'm going to go to Salakia, 1 Corinthians. Go back to 1 Corinthians. There was something else I wanted. All right, it's 1 Corinthians, chapter 15, right, and verse 50. Because understanding the power that the Most High has established. Actually, I'm going to get this real quick before I go to 1 Corinthians. Because again, like I mentioned, this is everlasting life and immortality. And this was promised to certain men from the beginning of the world. This is the book of Titus, chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, Paul, a servant of Yahweh and an apostle of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, according to the faith of Yahweh's elect, and the acknowledging of the truth, which is after godliness, in hope of eternal life. Right? So this is promised to the elect in hope of eternal life. It says, which Yahweh, that cannot lie, promised before the world began. So these things, eternal life, immortality, right, being part of that elect, that was promised to men and souls from the beginning of the world. Before man was thought about. Before you was formed your mother's womb and fashioned for 9 months and nursing at the breast afterwards. Before all of those things happened, guess what? It was established for certain souls to receive this immortality. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 50. It says, now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, nor do of corruption inherit incorruption. Right? So to be incorruptible, you must now put off that corruption. All right? It's now time to put off that corruption. Doing what? Putting off that sin, that leaven that's beside you. That pride if you have those thoughts. Thinking you're somebody. Thinking you're above the next man or even next woman. And women thinking you above your husband. Going to hell off. And children trying to rule over their parents. That's going to hell off. If you damn have those lustful thoughts and lustful eyes, or just lust of the flesh in general, worrying about the things of this world, worrying about damn freaking off and fornicating, men trying to multiply all wives to themselves, trying to have 10 wives just to freak off every damn day of the week, and then some. It's going off. It's not the purpose of these of having or women in the earth, right? You understand? It's to build them up, to protect them, so on and so forth, for them to raise your children and things of that nature. Not to damn just freak off and worrying about that. Or you men that's on those secret sites late at night when you thought no one was watching you, but the Lord was watching you. The Lord says now the time to put off that corruption. Still got the black and mild in your back pocket. Still rolling up the weed after the Shabbat. There's men in the earth like that. The Most High is not going to play games with that. That's destruction appointed for that. And guess what? In these last days, there's going to be certain men that's going to inherit immortality. Then there's other men who's going to be destroyed and corrupted and burned up. So we got to choose wisely. Passover is Monday night. You got to get out the remaining leaven what's inside you. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, neither do of corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. And the sleep is to die. We don't all have to die to inherit immortality, but at the end of the day, those that's going to be appointed in elect's sake, right? Those that's elected for this thing from the foundation of the world to inherit immortality. And guess what? They're all going to be changed. Meaning to be changed from the body that we're currently in to the spiritual body. The same body as the Lord Yahushua. And we'll get those precepts. Continuing on. It says, in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible. And we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and his mortal must put on immortality. Right? What's that immortality? Putting on that spiritual body. Accessing everlasting life. Because this flesh, you're never going to get right in this flesh. It's just not going to happen. If you thought you didn't need the Lord Yahushua, you thought wrong. This flesh is programmed for you to die. Long as you're in this flesh, you'll die a horrible death. That's why we need an exit out of this flesh. That's why our exit is the Lord Yahushua. For us to be changed and delivered out of this body into an incorruptible body. Let's go to the book of Philippians. You think the Lord Yahushua is going to return in the flesh? Actual flesh and blood? No. The Lord is in a spiritual body. Let's go to the book of Philippians. Right? Chapter 3. And I'll go to verse 20. I'll start at 20. Philippians chapter 3 and verse 20. It says, for our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. So he's going to change our body into his glorious body. For those that's a part of the elect, and most are willing, we're a part of that thing. And the Lord said, your body is going to be changed The elect's body is going to be changed from that vile body, this flesh, into a spiritual body, that glorious body, right? To inhabit immortality, to be a part of everlasting life. Let's go to Romans real quick. And that's only done for those that's a part of, again, that's a co-heir and a partaker with the Lord. This is the book of Romans, chapter 8. And I'll start at verse 16. It says, the Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of Yahweh, and joint heirs with a Mashiach. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. Right? And to be glorified together is to be brought out of this body, out of this corruption, and to have that liberty to be adopted and to be moved and changed out of this body into a much better body. Let's go to the book of 1 John. Slakia. Getting a little sickness, it seems. Right? That's Satan. And we hate this body, man. This body gets sick on its own. Damn sneezing, damn coughing. Changes with the seasons. You get up, you got back pain. You got ankle pain. They enrolled your ankle. Can't walk right. Got a limp. Nobody want to deal with that no more, man. If you want to deal with that, look, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm going to be honest. If you love this world and love this flesh and love this damn body, then you're going to be destroyed with it. Now was not the time to love the things of this world, man. Now was the time to come back to Yahweh Shem Yahshai. All right? Salaki, I'm looking for this. Let me get this precept real quick. Lost my train of thought, but most I willing will get it back. Right, Lord willing, we'll get that back. All right, let's go back to, what was I looking for? All right, Lord willing, we'll get that precept back. All right, but nevertheless, continuing on. Right, let's go back to where we were just at. We was in the book of Romans. No, we was in the book of Philippians. Let's go back to Philippians real quick. All right, so this is the book of Philippians, chapter 3 and verse 21. Who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body? Right, so putting off this flesh. The things that we mentioned, that back pain, all of that, that's going to be done. You don't have to worry about stress and being depressed and worry about damn finances. All of that's going to be done away with, man. The Lord's going to wipe away all those tears. You up at late at night crying your eyes out. That's going to be over with, man. You worrying about any one of your family members that had passed. That's going to be done with. All of that, gone, destroyed. But you got to endure to the end, or you're going to be destroyed with it. Continuing on. It says that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. Right? So to be fashioned like unto his body is, again, to be made for your body to be changed like unto Yahweh Shai's body. Right? Which is, again, only going to be for those a part of the elect. All right? Let's get a couple more on this. Then we're going to close out. Let's go back to 1 Corinthians. This 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And I'm going to go to verse 54, right? 1 Corinthians, I'll start at 43 again, or 53. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 53. It says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible, right, this body, this flesh we in, shall have put on incorruption, right, which is that spiritual body, and this mortal, right, which is this flesh, shall have put on immortality, right, which is to live forever, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O grave, where is thy sting? It's like, O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? Right, and this is written in both Isaiah chapter 25 and verse 8, and the book of Hosea chapter 13 and verse 14. That those things are going to be swallowed up and destroyed. All right. So we're going to close out. Actually, I'm going to get two more. Let's go to John real quick. St. John chapter 8. Because this is what you should be hoping for, man. This is what you got to look forward to. I hear, a lot of times you may think, well, man, damn. I mean, and that's really Satan too. So when you're thinking, damn, what's keeping me going? What am I in this thing for? And you're in this thing to serve Yahweh Shem Shai, so you don't have to be in this flesh no more. So you don't have to sin against your maker anymore. So you can live forever. You believe in the Lord, you can live forever. That's what it is. That's your consolation. That's the prize. That's a reward for all your hard labor, for you enduring in this truth, for your faith above all else. This is the book of St. John chapter 8 and verse number 51. St. John chapter 8 verse 51. Verily, verily, I say unto you, if a man keep my saying, he shall never see death. So if you keep the sayings of Yahweh Shem Shai, and you'll never see death, right? And we're going to close out with the book of 2nd Ezra. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 8. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, and I'm going to go to verse 51. 2nd Ezra 8 and 51. I'll start at 50. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end is showed the treasure of immortality. So Lord willing, you continue to endure in this truth. You continue to make your body a living sacrifice, enduring all things for the elect's sake, for Yahweh Shem Shai's sake, and most high willing, for the kingdom of heaven's sake. With that, Kwame Yasharallah, Shalom.